In the endless darkness of space, civilizations rose and fell like waves crashing on distant shores. Some worlds built fleets so vast that their shadows stretched across entire star systems. Others mastered technologies that could bend light, fire lasers that could melt mountains, or terraform planets into perfect fortresses. Yet, among these mighty empires, one small, quiet world remained largely unnoticed. Earth. The galactic powers had looked at it for centuries and laughed. Primitive, they said, weak, silent, not worth our attention. While massive fleets patrolled the outer systems and empires claimed new stars, Earth remained small, blue, and quiet. Its signals were faint, almost non-existent. Its ships did not travel beyond the solar system. To the galaxy, it was a soft, harmless whisper in a roaring universe. But on Earth itself, silence was never surrender. Humans lived, dreamed, and struggled with a fierce intensity. They built cities, invented machines, explored oceans, and gazed at the sky, always reaching for more. They sent satellites to map the planets, probes to wander the outer edges of their solar system, and even whispers of radio signals into the void, hoping for someone, anyone, to answer. Their technology was humble compared to the empires that laughed at them, but their spirit was unyielding, and their ambition burned brighter than any star. Commander Alina Reyes, standing on the roof of the Nevada Desert Observatory, felt that fire burning within her. Her eyes scanned the night sky, glittering with distant suns. Every star was a world of possibilities, every shadow between them a challenge to be faced. One day, she whispered, more to herself than anyone else, they will see us. They will see what we can do. Alina led a team of humans who were more than just scientists and engineers. They were builders of dreams, soldiers of hope, and explorers who refused to bow to the judgment of the galaxy. Together, they had been chosen to construct Earth's first true interstellar vessel, a mothership that could carry humanity's hopes, ambitions, and determination into the stars. This ship, named Dauntless, was not just a machine. It was a declaration. It was humanity saying, quietly but powerfully, we exist, and we will be noticed. The galaxy, however, did not yet know the truth of Earth. Messages intercepted from distant civilizations were dripping with contempt. Aliens spoke of humans as if they were fragile animals, incapable of understanding the vastness of the cosmos. They will fall before we even notice them, some empires said. Others laughed at Earth's quiet nature, calling the planet insignificant. Alina's jaw tightened as she read the messages. Beside her, Admiral Varek, a human strategist who had studied countless alien wars, spoke with calm authority. They do not see us, he said. They believe our silence is weakness. They think we are small and harmless. When they finally notice, it may be too late for them. Alina looked up at the stars again, feeling a strange mix of determination and patience. Let them laugh, she said. Silence can be deceiving. They do not know what we are capable of yet. For decades, humans had endured the galaxy's ridicule. Every empire they had studied had destroyed worlds, conquered stars, and left planets in ruin. Every alien fleet they had observed was faster, stronger, and more numerous than anything Earth could imagine. And yet, humans were patient. Humans were clever. Humans were relentless. The galaxy did not understand resilience, and it would be the first lesson it learned. In orbit around Earth, the final assembly of Dauntless began. Hidden from the eyes of alien spies, the ship's enormous hull gleamed in the sunlight like molten steel. Its engines, the most advanced humans had ever created, glowed with a promise of speed and power that no one expected from such a quiet world. Inside the ship, Alina walked through corridors humming with energy. Every wire, every circuit, every panel reflected decades of human ingenuity, sacrifice, and hope. "This is it," said Lieutenant Rami Patel, her closest friend and confidant since their training days. "This ship, it's our voice. The galaxy will hear it, one way or another." Alina nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. They were about to leave the quiet safety of their solar system, not to ask for attention, but to claim their place among the stars. She could almost hear the laughter of alien empires echoing across the vast distances, mocking Earth for its silence. But inside her, there was no fear. Only determination, only resolve, only the certainty that humans were ready. For too long, Earth had whispered into the void. For too long, the galaxy had ignored it. But soon, silence would turn into a roar. The quiet blue planet, underestimated by every empire in the galaxy, would awaken. And when it did, it would shatter the skies above. Alina took one last look at the stars, her eyes bright with fire. "Prepare for launch," she said softly. "The galaxy has no idea what's coming." And somewhere, far beyond human sight, alien empires continued their laughter, unaware that the first ripple of humanity's storm had already begun. The sun rose slowly over Earth's horizon, painting deserts and oceans in soft gold. On the launch site, the Dauntless rested, a towering monument of human ambition. Its shadow stretched across the ground, long and commanding, as if the ship itself knew it carried the hopes of an entire species. Inside the control center, Commander Alina Reyes stood with her crew. Engineers adjusted panels, technicians checked readings, and soldiers ran simulations. Every eye was focused, every hand precise. Despite the tension, there was a spark of excitement. For the first time in recorded history, Earth was preparing to leave its cradle and venture into the galaxy. "Commander," Lieutenant Rami Patel said, stepping forward. "All systems are green. Engines are stable. Life support is ready for launch." Alina nodded, her fingers brushing the railing as she stared at the ship's enormous hull. "Good. Let's make history today. Not for ourselves, but for everyone who ever dreamed of the stars." Around them, reporters and scientists observed quietly, their cameras capturing the moment that would later be immortalized in history books. Earth's governments had united for this project, setting aside conflicts to support a single purpose, to announce humanity's presence to the galaxy. And yet, even as excitement filled the air, there was fear too. Humans had never left their solar system before. They had never faced the unknown. "Do you think they will notice us?" whispered a young engineer, barely out of his teens, as he adjusted a console. Alina looked at him with steady eyes. "They will notice soon enough, and when they do, we need to be ready." As the countdown began, Earth itself seemed to hold its breath. Families watched on screens, hoping their loved ones would return safely. Scientists prayed that years of calculations would hold. Soldiers carried the quiet burden of responsibility, knowing that their lives were part of something far greater than any battlefield they had ever imagined. The Dauntless roared to life, engines igniting with a thunderous power that shook the ground. Dust and sand whipped around the launch site, creating a storm of energy that mirrored the anticipation of the moment. Inside, Alina and her crew felt the vibrations deep in their bones. This was the sound of human determination made real, the first voice of Earth rising above the silence of space. 10, 9, 8. The countdown echoed in every control room, in every heart, in every mind. With a final roar, the Dauntless lifted from the Earth's surface, breaking the bonds of gravity and leaving behind a cloud of fire and smoke. Cheers erupted below, but Alina's eyes were on the stars ahead. They were moving into darkness, into the vast unknown, but every human aboard felt a strange comfort. They were finally doing what humans had always done best, defying the odds. As the ship entered orbit, Earth grew smaller beneath them, a fragile blue marble suspended in a sea of black. The crew stared silently, realizing the enormity of their mission. For the first time, humans were no longer confined to their world. They had become travelers, explorers, and warriors in a galaxy that had underestimated them for far too long. Days passed as the Dauntless accelerated toward the edges of the solar system. The crew adjusted to life aboard the massive ship, routines, forming, training continuing, and anticipation growing. Every system was monitored, every decision weighed carefully, and always the galaxy watched, though it did not know it yet. Then came the first message. A deep, resonant voice crackled across their secure channels, not human, but unmistakably intelligent. "You are not ready," it said. "Your species is weak. Your planet is insignificant. Do not try to reach beyond your cradle." Alina's hands tightened on the railing. "Who are you?" she demanded. The voice laughed, a cold, alien sound that seemed to reverberate in the ship's very hull. "We are the empires that watch the galaxy. We see you. We know your history. Do not think your silence has hidden you from us. You are a curiosity, nothing more." The crew exchanged nervous glances, but Alina remained calm. "Silence is not weakness," she replied firmly. "We are ready. And if you doubt it, you will see soon enough." The alien voice paused, then vanished. No threat, no warning, just silence again. But Alina could feel the tension in the crew. The galaxy was watching, and for the first time, humanity had made itself known. In the following days, the Dauntless passed beyond Mars, Jupiter, and the asteroid belt, leaving behind the familiar planets of the solar system. Every mile traveled was a step into the unknown. Supplies were tested, engines monitored, and crew members trained for scenarios no human had ever. Weeks passed as the Dauntless glided through the cold darkness beyond the outer planets. The crew had grown used to the quiet hum of engines, the endless stars stretching like rivers of light around them. Yet, in the hearts of every human aboard, there was a tension, a sense that something watched them. The galaxy had noticed, and it would not ignore them for long. One morning, as the ship sailed past a distant star cluster, the sensors flared. A massive object appeared on the main screen, a fleet of alien warships, unlike anything humanity had seen before. Their surfaces glimmered with strange metals, energy shields pulsing like liquid light. They were enormous, and they moved with precision and power. "Commander," Rami said, his voice tense, "we've been detected. They're massive." Alina felt a chill, but her gaze was steady. She had imagined this day countless times, trained for it, prepared for it. "How many?" she asked calmly. "Too many to count from here," Rami replied. "They're coming toward us, and judging by their trajectory, they mean to stop us." The crew fell silent. Machines beeped, screens flickered with alien symbols, and the hum of the engines seemed louder than ever. Alina's hand rested on the railing. She could feel her heart pounding, but her mind was sharp, focused. Humans have always faced impossible odds, she said softly to herself, then louder to the crew. And we've always survived. Prepare shields, prepare defensive protocols, and remember, we are not weak. We are not silent anymore. The aliens did not waste time with words. Beams of energy lanced through space toward the Dauntless, testing its defenses. The shields flared, glowing bright blue as they absorbed the attacks. Sparks of energy danced across the hull, and alarms blared throughout the ship. "Evasive maneuvers!" Alina commanded. "Full thrust, starboard vector!" The ship shifted, twisting through the void like a living creature. Crew members held, onto rails, their faces pale, but their eyes burning with determination. Humans had never faced such power, yet they refused to panic. Every movement, every command was precise, a testament to years of preparation. "This is it," whispered Rami, gripping the console. "Our first real test." The alien fleet advanced relentlessly. Each ship emitted a low hum that seemed to vibrate inside the bones of the Dauntless. They were monsters of the galaxy, armed with weapons that could destroy planets. Yet the humans refused to yield. Alina looked out at the enemy ships, and her voice rang clear over the intercom. "We are not a silent world anymore. We are not to be dismissed. Today, humanity speaks, and we will not be unheard." The Dauntless fired its first volley. Energy beams sliced through the darkness, striking the alien ships with surprising accuracy. One of the larger vessels flared and exploded, a bright fire blooming in the black void. The crew cheered, but Alina quickly silenced them with a sharp, "Look." The battle had only begun. The aliens retaliated with even more intensity. Shields strained, engines roared, and alarms screamed. Every human aboard moved like a well-oiled machine, repairing systems, firing weapons, and guiding the ship through deadly traps. The galaxy had expected a silent, weak species. Instead, it found a force that refused to bend, a species that fought with courage, cunning, and heart. Hours passed in a blur of motion, fire, and noise. Yet in the chaos, a strange thing happened. The alien ships began to hesitate. They had never faced humans before, not like this, not with such resilience, such unpredictability. Each maneuver, each calculated strike, revealed a mind unafraid of the impossible. Alina felt a surge of pride. "We are showing them who we are," she said softly. "They thought silence meant weakness. They are learning the truth." Then, through the communications channel, the alien voice returned, cold, deep, almost mechanical. "You dare fight us? You are still small. You cannot hope to survive." Alina's response was unwavering. "We do not hope. We act. And we are already here." The alien fleet pressed harder, but the humans had adapted. They anticipated attacks, used clever maneuvers, and targeted weaknesses with precision. Slowly, the tide began to turn. One by one, alien ships faltered, shields collapsing. Under the unrelenting assault of the Dauntless, the largest enemy warship, the apparent command vessel, glowed red as its systems began to fail. For the first time, the humans aboard the Dauntless realized something incredible. They were not just surviving, they were winning. Alina stood at the observation deck, staring at the remnants of the alien fleet. The stars beyond seemed brighter now, filled with the promise of what humanity could achieve. Her crew, exhausted but triumphant, looked to her with awe and relief. "This is only the beginning," she said. "The galaxy will remember this day. Earth was silent for centuries, but we have spoken, and now no one will ever ignore us again." In the distance, the alien remnants retreated, their laughter gone, replaced by caution and fear. Humans had shattered their assumptions. They had taken the first step in proving that Earth, though small and silent for so long, was now a force to be reckoned with. Alina felt a lump in her throat, a mix of pride, exhaustion, and exhilaration. Humanity had crossed a threshold. They had entered the galaxy not as timid observers, but as bold participants. And the Dauntless, shining in the void, carried the heart and soul of an entire species into a future no one could have imagined. Somewhere, far beyond, alien empires would whisper warnings to one another, but Earth would roar. The Dauntless drifted silently among the stars for a brief moment, as if the universe itself paused to watch. But silence never lasted long in space, especially when humans were involved. The alien fleet that had pursued them regrouped, sending another wave of massive warships, this time with more precision and deadly intent. "Commander Reyes," Lieutenant Rami Patel said, his voice steady but tense. "They're coordinating. We need to act fast, or we could be overwhelmed." Alina's eyes narrowed. She had trained for this. Every simulation, every late-night planning session had prepared her for this moment. "We're not just defending ourselves," she said firmly. "We're showing the galaxy that silence does not mean weakness. Prepare all weapons, activate maximum shields, and get ready for counterstrike." The humans aboard the Dauntless moved as one. Engineers monitored energy flows, recalibrating weapons for optimal performance. Soldiers checked combat stations, eyes burning with focus and determination. Every human aboard knew what was at stake, not just survival, but the honor of their entire species. The first shots were fired. Energy beams from the Dauntless streaked across the void, striking the alien fleet with surprising accuracy. One warship exploded into fragments of fire and metal. Another was disabled mid-flight, its engines failing spectacularly. The humans cheered briefly, then fell silent again, knowing that celebration was dangerous in the midst of battle. The alien ships responded, unleashing waves of plasma that tore through space. Shields flared and groaned under the pressure, sparks of energy dancing across the hull. Alarms blared, lights flickered, but the crew did not falter. Every challenge was met with courage and cleverness. Humans had no fleet of 1,000 ships, no armies stretching across light years, but they had ingenuity, courage, and a stubborn refusal to surrender. "Commander," Rami said, pointing to the screen. "Their main battleship. It's targeting our core engines. One hit like that, and we're done." Alina's jaw tightened. "Not today. Divert power to the aft shields. Fire on its flank. We will not be destroyed. Humanity does not break this easily." The Dauntless twisted and turned, weaving through enemy fire. Its weapons fired in precise bursts, hitting weak points in the alien vessel's armor. Slowly, painfully, the tide of battle began to shift. The humans' relentless strategy, their unyielding focus, and their refusal to fear the impossible were turning the enemy back. In the midst of chaos, Alina took a moment to glance at her crew. Young men and women, some barely trained, some hardened. By Earth's conflicts, all were working as one. Fear was present, yes, but it did not control them. Determination shone in every eye. For the first time, humans were not just surviving the galaxy's judgment, they were challenging it. Hours passed. The Dauntless danced through space, striking again and again. Alien ships fell, engines burning, weapons offline. Every success brought a cheer. Every failure was met with calm correction. Humans adapted, learned, and fought harder. They had no empire to back them, no countless ships, but they had heart. That heart was stronger than any laser, faster than any engine, and sharper than any blade. Suddenly, the alien command vessel fired a massive beam. The blast roared across space, aimed to destroy the Dauntless in a single strike. Time seemed to slow as the crew braced. Alina's hands gripped the railing tightly. "Divert all power to shields! Brace for impact!" she shouted. The beam struck, shaking the ship violently. Panels exploded, alarms screamed, and the crew was thrown against walls and consoles. Dust and sparks filled the corridors. Yet somehow the Dauntless held. Its shields flared brighter than ever, absorbing the attack. And then, in a move the aliens did not anticipate, the humans counterattacked. "Fire everything at the command ship," Alina commanded. "Do not hold back. This ends now." The ship responded like a living being. Energy beams lanced out in unison, striking the alien vessel at critical points. Explosions tore through its hull, engines failed, weapons went offline. The aliens had underestimated humans once again. What they thought would be a quick. The silence after the first battle was deafening. The Dauntless drifted through the void, engines humming softly, shields still flaring faintly from the earlier attacks. For a moment, it felt as if humanity had stepped into a calm that the galaxy rarely allowed. But calm, the crew knew, was only the prelude to another storm. Commander Alina Reyes stood at the observation deck, staring at distant stars. The victory against the first alien fleet had been hard won, but it had only painted a target on Earth and the Dauntless. Across the galaxy, the Empires whispered warnings, and fear mixed with determination in ways humans had never seen. "Commander," Lieutenant Rami Patel said, interrupting her thoughts. "Sensors are picking up massive energy readings, hundreds of ships, possibly thousands. They're converging on us from multiple directions." Alina's expression hardened. "They thought the first strike would stop us," she said. "They underestimated us. But they will learn quickly that humans are not so easily broken." The crew began preparations immediately. Defensive shields were reinforced, weapon systems recalibrated, and every station aboard the Dauntless was manned. Engineers checked engines, ensuring maximum maneuverability. Soldiers ran through combat drills, while scientists monitored the alien signals, trying to decode their communications. As the fleet drew closer, its shadow stretching across the void, a strange realization struck the crew. This was more than just a battle. It was a test of humanity's courage, a trial to see if a quiet planet could rise above the galaxy's assumptions. And for the first time, they felt the weight of what they carried. Not just weapons and systems, but the pride, hopes, and defiance of every human being on Earth. Alina took a deep breath and addressed the crew. "This is not just about survival. It's about proving to the galaxy that we are more than what it expects. We are intelligent, we are strong, and we will not be ignored. Every life aboard this ship matters. Every action matters. Prepare yourselves." The Dauntless shuddered as the first wave of enemy ships arrived. Unlike before, the aliens moved with coordinated precision. Massive plasma beams cut through the darkness, striking with lethal intent. The humans dodged and countered, but it was clear. This battle would not be easy. "Hold steady," Alina commanded. "Focus on defense first. Look for openings. Adapt." The crew responded with incredible synchronicity. Engineers rerouted power, strengthening shields in real time. Weapons officers targeted weak points in the alien ships. Every maneuver, every calculation, every decision was a dance with death. But it was performed with courage and ingenuity. Hours stretched into days. The Dauntless weaved through the endless fleet, striking with surgical precision. Alien ships fell one by one, their advanced technology no match for human ingenuity and adaptability. Yet the humans were exhausted. Every strike, every dodge, every repair took its toll. Amid the chaos, Alina noticed something astonishing. The alien commanders, who had once laughed at Earth's silence, now hesitated. Their formations wavered. Their attacks became cautious. The galaxy had never seen a species, a single ship, fight with such relentless determination, such fearless adaptation. Humans had turned the tide again, not with numbers, not with overwhelming power, but with courage, intelligence, and heart. "Commander," Rami said, pointing to the central command vessel of the alien fleet, "it's vulnerable. If we can hit it, the rest may scatter." Alina's eyes gleamed. "Then we do it. Prepare a full concentrated strike. This ends today." The Dauntless surged forward, engines blazing, weapons charged to maximum capacity. Energy beams lanced, out in perfect synchronization, striking the alien command ship with devastating effect. Explosions rippled across its hull, shields failing, engines sputtering. Slowly, inexorably, it broke apart, leaving the remaining fleet disoriented and afraid. The humans aboard the Dauntless cheered, though their voices were tempered with exhaustion. They had faced an overwhelming enemy and survived. They had fought against a force that had laughed at them, and now that laughter had been replaced with silence and fear. Alina turned to her crew, voice filled with both pride and emotion. "You've done more than survive," she said. "You've shown the galaxy that Earth is not weak. That silence does not mean surrender. That courage and determination can change the course of history. Yet even as they celebrated, Alina knew this was only the beginning. Across the stars, alien empires would regroup, and humanity would face challenges far greater than this first retaliation. But for now, the Dauntless sailed forward, stronger, faster, and braver. The galaxy had begun to take notice. In the observation deck, Alina stared at the remnants of the alien fleet drifting into the void. She felt a swell of emotion, not just pride, but awe at what humanity had accomplished. For centuries, Earth had been quiet, almost invisible. Now, it had roared, and the echoes of that roar would carry across the stars for generations to come. Somewhere in the distant reaches of space, alien commanders whispered among themselves, terrified of what they had underestimated. Earth, the small and silent world, had revealed its true nature. And as the Dauntless accelerated toward the unknown, humanity's voice, the roar that would shake the galaxy, was only beginning to grow. Alina touched the console gently, almost reverently. "We've shown them the heart of Earth," she whispered. "And the best is yet to come." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, each one a beacon of possibility, a silent witness to humanity's rise. The Dauntless sailed through the void with unmatched purpose. Its hull gleamed, engines thrummed, and every human aboard moved with quiet determination. They were no longer defenders. They were hunters now, carrying the fight into the heart of the galaxy. Commander Alina Reyes stood on the observation deck, gazing at the distant clusters of alien territories. For centuries, these empires had thought themselves untouchable, rulers of hundreds of systems. They had laughed at Earth, dismissed it as a whisper in the void. Now, Alina thought, it was time for them to understand the cost of underestimation. "Commander," Lieutenant Rami Patel said, approaching her, "our sensors detect a massive fleet near the Nivara cluster. They're regrouping, stronger than before. It's not just retaliation. They're preparing to end us." Alina's eyes hardened. "Good. Then they will understand what they ignored for too long. This is not just survival. This is a message." The Dauntless adjusted its trajectory, weaving through asteroid fields and debris with expert precision. Every movement was calculated. Every decision weighed. The humans aboard were exhausted, yet their hearts burned with a resolve no galaxy could contain. They had survived overwhelming attacks. They had shattered the first fleets, and now they would face the Empire at its core. As the alien fleet appeared, a terrifying sight met the crew. Thousands of warships, massive and heavily armed, glimmered like a swarm of stars, moving in perfect synchronization. Their weapons glowed ominously, ready to crush any intruder. And yet, the humans did not falter. "Focus," Alina said calmly, addressing her crew. "Every weakness counts. Every moment matters. Remember why we fight. Remember who we are." The first shots rang out. Energy beams lanced through space, colliding with alien shields in brilliant flashes of light. The Dauntless twisted and spun, dodging deadly fire while returning precise strikes at vulnerable points. Alien ships exploded one by one, their immense power no match for human ingenuity and adaptability. Hours turned into tense days. Every attack, every maneuver pushed the crew to their limits. Engineers worked tirelessly, rerouting power to shields and weapons. Soldiers fired relentlessly, guided by instinct and training. Scientists monitored alien signals, looking for patterns, seeking the openings that would allow humans to strike harder and smarter. Alina paced the observation deck, mind racing. She had trained for countless scenarios, yet nothing compared to the reality of commanding humanity's first true fleet in uncharted space. Fear was natural, but it had no place here. Courage was their weapon, ingenuity their shield. Suddenly, a massive alien warship broke formation and charged directly at the Dauntless. Its energy core pulsed with lethal intensity, a weapon capable of destroying the human ship in an instant. "Brace for impact," Alina shouted. "Divert all power. To shields! Prepare a full counterstrike!" The Dauntless rocked violently as the alien fire struck. Panels exploded, alarms screamed, and the crew was thrown against walls and consoles. But then, in a display of tactical brilliance, Alina gave her command. "Split the firepower! Target its engines first!" Energy beams struck the alien ships. Engines, sparking massive explosions. Its trajectory wavered. It lost speed. Its firepower diminished. One by one, humans used strategy and courage to dismantle the overwhelming threat. They were outnumbered, yes, but never outwitted. Finally, after a relentless series of attacks, the alien flagship broke apart in a blinding explosion, sending fragments scattering across space. The remaining fleet faltered, confusion replacing their disciplined precision. They had never encountered a species so small, yet so fearless, so determined, and so clever. Alina turned to her exhausted but triumphant crew. "We've done more than fight," she said, voice filled with pride. "We've shown them that Earth is not weak, that silence is not surrender, that courage can rewrite the rules of the galaxy." Rami nodded, eyes bright with emotion. "They underestimated us," he said softly. "And now, they know. For the first time." The Dauntless cut through the darkness of space like a blade of light. Every mile brought it closer to the heart of alien territory, a place that for centuries had been untouchable, believed unchallenged, and feared by all who knew of its power. But humans did not fear. They had no illusions of grandeur, no delusions of safety. They only had determination, intelligence, and courage, and those were more than enough. Commander Alina Reyes stood at the observation deck, hands gripping the railing as she watched distant fleets gathering ahead. Thousands of alien warships formed a vast, seemingly impenetrable wall. Their shields pulsed like a heartbeat, their weapons glinting with lethal intent. To any other species, this would have been the end. To humans, it was a challenge. "Commander," Lieutenant Rami Patel said, eyes wide, "they've sent everything they have. They're hoping to crush us here now." Alina took a deep breath. "Then let them try," she said firmly. "They've never faced humans before. They've never seen what determination can do. We are small, yes, but we are not weak. We are brave. We are relentless. And today, we roar." The first salvo struck with a deafening thunder, energy beams lancing toward the Dauntless. Shields flared brightly, absorbing the attacks, while the humans fired back with precision unmatched in the galaxy. One alien ship after another fell, exploding in brilliant flashes of light that lit the void like a storm of stars. Inside the ship, the crew moved as one. Engineers adjusted energy flows, soldiers manned weapon stations, and scientists calculated trajectories with calm efficiency. Fear existed, yes, but it was drowned out by courage. Humans had faced the impossible before, and every time they had risen stronger, smarter, faster. The alien fleet advanced in waves, relentless and overwhelming. Yet the Dauntless dodged, twisted, and struck with surgical brilliance. Their tactics were not just brute force. They were clever, adaptive, and unpredictable. Each move surprised the aliens, shaking their confidence. They had expected an easy victory. They had expected silence. Instead, they found resistance, intelligence, and a courage they could not measure. Hours bled into tense days. The Dauntless was battered, hull scorched, shields flickering, but the crew never wavered. Alina's voice echoed through the corridors, steady and unwavering. "Keep fighting. For Earth, for humanity. We are not silent anymore. We are a storm no one can ignore." Then came a moment of clarity. The alien flagship, the heart of their fleet, pulsed with immense energy. Its weapons glowed brighter than any star. It was their strongest, most deadly ship, and it was aiming straight for the Dauntless. "Commander," Rami said urgently, "one shot from that ship, and we're finished." Alina's jaw tightened. "Then we make it count. Fire everything, at its core. Concentrate on precision, not strength. We may be small, but we are clever. We are humans." The Dauntless surged forward, engines blazing. Every weapon fired in unison, striking the alien flagship's critical points. Explosions erupted across its hull, shields faltering under the unrelenting assault. The flagship shuddered, then split apart in a blinding fiery eruption, sending debris scattering like meteors across the void. The remaining alien ships faltered. Confusion rippled through their formations. They had faced destruction before, yes, but never from a species they had considered insignificant. Earth had been quiet for centuries, underestimated, dismissed. And now, the galaxy witnessed what humans were capable of. Inside the Dauntless, the crew cheered, tears streaming down faces, hearts pounding with the sheer elation of victory. They had done what no one expected. They had survived impossible odds. They had shattered assumptions, shattered fleets, and shattered the silence that had once hidden their strength. Alina turned to her crew, pride and emotion burning in her eyes. "This is humanity," she said softly, yet with a voice strong, enough to fill the ship. "We are small, but we are fearless. We are few, but we are unstoppable when we refuse to surrender. The galaxy will remember this day. They will remember Earth." As they sailed through the remnants of the alien armada, Alina allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humans had always been underestimated. They had always been seen as weak, quiet, and fragile. But the Dauntless, shining like a beacon in the void, had changed that forever. "Commander," Rami said, voice trembling slightly, "the galaxy, they've seen us. They're talking about us. They're afraid." Alina nodded. "Good. Let them be afraid. Let them remember that Earth may be small, but it is unbroken. Let them never underestimate silence again. Humanity has spoken, and its roar will echo across the stars forever." For the first time in centuries, Earth's silence was replaced by a voice that could not be ignored, a voice of courage, a voice of defiance, a voice of a species that had risen from quiet obscurity to become a storm that the galaxy would never forget. Somewhere, far beyond human sight, alien empires regrouped, whispers of fear and awe spreading among them. They had faced a species they thought harmless and realized too late that underestimation could be fatal. The small blue planet had shattered their assumptions, and the Dauntless sailed on unstoppable, a testament to the spirit of humanity. Alina stood at the observation deck one last time, eyes shining with emotion. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. "The galaxy will remember the day Earth roared." The Dauntless sailed through the void, its hull scarred but shining, a testament to battles fought and victories won. Around it, alien fleets retreated, shattered and wary, their arrogance replaced by fear. Humanity had spoken. Earth's voice, once quiet and unnoticed, had roared across the stars, and the galaxy would never forget it. Commander Alina Reyes stood on the observation deck, staring at the distant planets and stars. Every light seemed to pulse with possibility, every shadow whispering of challenges yet to come. Yet for the first time, she allowed herself a deep breath of pride. The impossible had been achieved. Humans had survived overwhelming odds. Humans had won. "Commander," Lieutenant Rami Patel said, approaching her, exhaustion and awe in his voice. They're retreating. Entire fleets. They've never seen anything like us. Earth, humanity. We've changed everything." Alina nodded slowly. "Yes," she said softly. "Not with numbers, not with overwhelming power, but with heart, with courage, with determination. Humanity has shown that silence is not weakness, that we are not to be dismissed. The crew moved quietly through the corridors, repairing damage, checking systems, yet their faces were alight with emotion. There was relief, yes, but more than that, there was pride. They had faced death, chaos, and the unknown, and they had prevailed. They had rewritten the rules of the galaxy with nothing more than intelligence, courage, and unity. In the communications center, scientists sent messages back to Earth. Alerts, cheers, and reports traveled across light years, telling the people of the planet that their children, their soldiers, their explorers had succeeded. Entire nations held their breath as the first signals reached them, witnessing a history no one could have imagined. Alina walked among her crew, offering words of encouragement, smiles, and embraces where she could. They were exhausted, covered in soot and sweat, but their spirits soared. They had done what generations before them had only dreamed of. They had stepped out of obscurity and into legend. "Commander," one young engineer said quietly, "do you think they will come back?" Alina knelt beside him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Maybe," she admitted, "but next time, they will remember who we are. They will remember that Earth is not weak, that we are clever, determined, and fearless. And they will think twice before underestimating us again." The Dauntless glided past the remnants of alien warships, fragments of metal and light floating silently in the void. They were trophies of courage, reminders that a species once thought insignificant could shape the galaxy with determination and unity. Alina returned to the observation deck, gazing at the endless expanse. The stars seemed to shine brighter, almost as if recognizing the triumph of a small blue planet. She allowed herself a moment to reflect. Humanity had been underestimated, laughed at, ignored. Yet against impossible odds, they had persevered. They had learned, adapted, and fought with a spirit that no alien empire could anticipate. "This is what humans are," she whispered, her voice carried only by the emptiness of space. "We are small, yes, but we are bold. We are few, yes, but we are unstoppable when we refuse to surrender. We are Earth. We are the roar the galaxy will never forget." Across distant systems, alien empires convened, whispering warnings and sharing tales of a species that refused to be quiet, a species that had shattered fleets, defeated the impossible, and emerged triumphant. The galaxy had been reminded that strength was not measured by size alone, that courage and ingenuity could topple the mighty. Back aboard the Dauntless, the crew gathered for a quiet moment. Some held hands, others simply stared at the stars, letting the enormity of their achievement sink in. They had carried the hopes of millions, faced death, and returned with victory. Their bond, their unity, and their courage had carried them, beyond fear, beyond silence, into legend. Alina turned to them, voice steady yet full of emotion. "Remember this day," she said. "Remember how small humans, with hearts full of fire and courage, stood against the galaxy and prevailed. This is the beginning, not the end. The galaxy will remember the day Earth roared, and so will we." Outside the Dauntless,